Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about Produmex Logistic Solution. So why am I saying Produmex Logistic Solutions? Because we have more than one solution that's called Produmex. One is the scan solution and one is the WMS solution. So now you're like, what is the difference? I would ask myself the same thing. So today we're going to go through the Bottleneck scan functionality so you know what's included in the scan solution, and then we're going to cover the WMS functionality. Okay? Because it depends what you need. Okay? Of course, we always make sure you have the correct solution. We don't want you to buy something or implement something you don't need. If scan is enough, that's the smaller solution. Okay, I usually say SAP on the scanner. Then you take that. But if you need more, if you have expiration dates, if you have pallets and so on, then you would need the WMS solution. So this is a little overview today, very simple, very straightforward. So this is the scan solution. I usually say it's SAP on the scanner. Why do I say that? Because what people usually do, as you all know, is you have a PC somewhere in a corner in your warehouse. And when there comes a truck in, then you have to do the deliveries, their goods receipt in there. The same with deliveries, and you really never have real-time data because maybe I do not put the delivery right away or the goods receipt because something came up or I go on break or I go to lunch. So your system never has real-time data. But if you have a scanner, you have to scan those items and you tell the system where you're going to put it. If you have bin locations, then you always have real-time data and you do not need to walk to a PC in your warehouse. You don't need to have a PC out there in the warehouse because everything is going to be done on the scanner. A big time saver, it saves you a lot of time. You have real-time data, and a big saver is also the inventory counting. I remember in my implementation years, the inventory counting, you print out the papers, then you scribble on it, then somebody does data entry. No, you don't want to do that. You can do that on the scanner now. You scan that item in, you tell it how many you counted, and go to the next item. So you want to automate your inventory process. So, and then we have WMS. So now we are talking a little bit different. Okay, the other one was the smaller one. Now we are talking about different depending how complex you are. Okay, so it also totally integrated with SAP. Same thing, like skin. But now we are talking about, okay, what is the difference? We are not using SAP spin location. On the scan we do. Here we don't. Here you create your own warehouse or warehouse setup because you can have docks, you can have zones, you can have certain zones like freezer zone, certain temperature zone. All this you can set up in there. You have full control over everything. I can say this item can never go in there. You can have replenishment, okay? You can have container management, okay? So cycle counting, of course, we have advanced batch attribute, okay? Best before dates, shelf life. So that comes with everything. And again, it depends on you. What do we need? If you're in the food industry, for example, I'm just going to pull something, this would be your solution. Because when you're in the food industry, you probably have pallets you're going to get in. I just actually talked to a customer, that they make food, so they get all this flour in and all this rice and whatever, so they get pallets. This would be the solution for you, because then you break up the pallet and create different pallets, and you have SSCCs, of course. On both solutions, you have the GS1 barcode labels, so that's on both, but this is the full-blown warehouse management system. So let's go into the demos. So I am going to pull up, let's start with scan. That's my pink one. I had to color code it a little bit. So I'm running SAP Business One, just like you guys are used to it, right? So I have my scanning solution attached to this. So I can go in here, I can do a purchase order. And I think I did not make one here. Let me see if I prepared one. No, I don't. I'm gonna duplicate this really quick. So I have to this database, I have attached my scanner. And what I want you to see is following. This is SAP. Let me go to a vendor. I'm receiving something in, and I'm gonna add this. Okay, so you see right here, it's 2 items, and one I receive in warehouse 5 and one in warehouse 1. The reason I did that is because warehouse 5 has a bin location, and this item here is a batch item. So I have my purchase orders out there. So I'm out on my scanner, I'm out in the warehouse, a truck comes in. So now let's talk about it. I have this scanner. I have all this menu available. Of course, you hide what you don't need or what this employee doesn't need to do. Okay, so I've pretty much, I think, almost everything visible. So I can have an icon here. I hit it, standalone goods receipt. That means I can receive something in without a purchase order. I'm not gonna let them do that. They need to have a purchase order, right? So you go in here, purchase order. So you can type in or scan in the purchase order number. You can say reload and see all the open purchase order numbers. You can look it up by supplier. It's totally up to you how you want to look for the purchase order number. And all those fields up here, do you see the white fields up here? You can scan, okay? I have to type it because I don't have a scanner, okay? So here is my purchase order number. I'm gonna receive it in. And now you would scan, beep, scan the item. How many do I get? How many am I receiving in? Then you would scan that. Oh, this one is in a bin location. Now it's gonna ask me which bin location does it go to. You would scan the bin location. Always let people scan stuff because then you have less errors. So I'm gonna say it's going to this bin location. I always can print labels on those screens. If I go through, you will see a lot of times a print button. Then I would say next item. Let me actually, since I don't have the scanner, let me do this. Let me copy it. And I'm gonna say this is my next item. Paste. It jumps to the next item. In this case, I ordered 1 carton. So this item has a unit of measure group. And what's really nice is, of course, on the scanner, you can say, you know what? They did not send me a carton. They sent me maybe a case. So, of course, your user can still change the unit of measure group. But I'm going to say they sent everything. I'm going to say add. This item is a batch item. It doesn't go in a bin location warehouse. It goes to warehouse 01, but it has a batch. So of course you can, some people have pre-print the batch. You just scan it, or you say new and let the scanner create the batch. In my case, it's the date, it's the vendor code, very straightforward. And I say everything is in this batch. I only have 1 item anyway. So you can automate more stuff. I'm gonna say okay, and then I'm gonna say receive. So I say I'm receiving 2 out of 2. Of course, you can do partial, not a problem. If you didn't get everything, you receive in what you got, and vice versa when you do delivery. And I'm going to post this. So what this is going to do, it's going to talk to my SAP database. I'm out in the warehouse. I don't have SAP running out there, but now it's going to talk to my SAP database, and you will see it will create the goods receipt PO. It gives me the goods receipt PO number, and you're done in the warehouse. I will not see that purchase order anymore, as you can see. So what happens in SAP is, so I have the purchase order still open on purpose. It's still open, but I received everything in. It really should have closed the purchase order. I'm going to click refresh here, and you will see the purchase order is going to be closed because the scanning solution closed it. I received everything in, and you will have the relationship map. Okay? So that's scanning. Goods receipt. The same thing would happen on the sales side. You do a sales order. Let's do one really quick, and then I'll jump over to WMS. You do a sales order. I'm gonna go ahead and create one really quick here. My beautiful SAP. If you don't have the usability package, all the beautiful colors and button I did with the usability package. Ask for it. It's a great tool to customize your SAP. So I'm going to do a sales order really quick. I'm going to click add. I got to do this. There we go. And it's the same thing. So with the sales order, you can do a delivery either. Of course, you can issue for production, receipt from production. Sorry, I have iPayment running too, our credit card solution. We have a credit card solution too that was running. That's why you had the pop-up. I just see that them on that. So here is my sales order. You can also production, issue for production, receive from production. That's available for you. So now we have deliveries. You can deliver off a sales order or pick list. So if you, as the customer, do pick list, then you hide this truck, of course, because a pick list needs to be there to deliver. Or vice versa, we don't do pick list, then you hide this. So you can do, you can do a standalone delivery. No, I don't want him to do this. We need to have a sales order. Hide the truck. Sales return. Hide the truck. Not everybody should do returns or credit notes. So depending who the user is, you can totally customize this, what they can see. But what we're going to do is we're going to do sales, same thing. You look it up, you know the sales order number, you look it up, and then you look for that delivery. There we go. Issue, same thing. How many I'm going to issue is one, add, print, done, and then you post it. Same thing. Of course, if you have a bin location, if it's a bin warehouse, it will ask you which bin are you taking it from. If it's a batch number, it's going to ask you which batch number you're taking it. If it's a serial number, which serial number. Of course, all this would pop up, and of course, your users would. What they would do is they would scan that in. Always let them scan it. Okay. So this was receiving, then shipping it out. You can do inventory transfers. You can do goods receipt, goods issue. The same if I would do here in SAP when you have to make adjustments, goods receipt, goods issue. That shouldn't happen too much because usually you use PO or AP or AR. Counting, so much easier. Of course, you still have your lists because you still create those lists, but then you go in here and say, I want to account this warehouse, and there we go. Then you say beep, how many? Beep, how many? Beep, how many? I gotta look it up. I don't have a scanner. Beep, boom, how many? Beep, how many? Beep, how many? This is a batch number. Beep, how many? I mean, how much quicker can it get? And it will feed back into SAP. And of course, you are still the one that will post that counting list. Okay. And then you have also a nice query here. So I'm on the road, I call you. Can you look up how many of this item do we still have available? Okay, so you look it up, and then I can tell you right away, in warehouse 1, we have this many, warehouse 2, this many, in this bin location, this many, and so on. So you have a little built-in query. And yeah, there is some customizations you can do, like have an automatic batch number created, do some user-defined fields on the header level. If you have a user-defined field on the header level on a purchase order, you can see it there, and so on. So that's your scan. Simple, straightforward, plug it into SAP, do some configuration. Of course, it takes some configuration, and then you're ready to use it. Now let's look at the warehouse management system, the full-blown warehouse management system. That's a little bit different. This is a bigger implementation. This is a bigger, we need you to be involved. Well, on both of them, really, you as the customer. But what do you see difference here? So it's still SAP, it's a different database, so it looks different. But I have this here now. I have Produmex here because this is a full-blown warehouse management system. So first of all, when you have Produmex installed on the item master, you already see a difference, because what you're gonna see is that you get a different tab. So the tabs, like and then there is a Produmex tab. There we go. Here it is. I never get to see it. Everything starts with P here. So there's a Produmex tab, and within the tab you have more tabs. So there's, for example, just a few things. You notice the unit of measure for the inventory. This item goes to the zone type. So I have an item that needs to be in a certain temperature. Think about chemicals, food, and so on. It needs to be in this zone type, and this is the default location for this item. This is not a logistic carrier. On the sales tab, you have way more options. What is my shelf life? Is it 360 days? Is it 100 days? So what is shelf life? Shelf life right here. Same on the purchasing side. What is the shelf life? What does it need to be when I receive that in? Okay. We have catch weight. If you're in the food industry, it's available. We have some production. It comes with a terminal for production. Also very simple, very straightforward. And then you have attributes. Okay, so like this one comes in a box carton, also unit of measure groups. Okay, then you can say batch attributes. It's like you can put more attributes, I can say it, right? And when they receive this in, for example, you can say it's required, it's mandatory, or optional. So maybe you want to keep track of a color or whatsoever. So you have also batch attributes right here. And again, going back to my example, food industry, are there any allergies codes? Okay, so that will help you tremendously too. So you have way more information on the item, because yeah, that's what you need. And then when you go here, you have the organizational structure. This is where you set up your warehouse. We do not use SAP's warehouse setup. This is where you set up your warehouse and you tell it what you have in the warehouse. I'm using those printers in this warehouse one. I'm using all those scanners in this warehouse. I have docks. I have zones, and so on. So you go through it and you set it up exactly the way you want it, the way your warehouse is. So this is a freezer zone, for example. It's on this aisle, and those are my bin location. And then when you go to the bin location, of course, it's way broader than your regular SAP business one. So you tell it if it's a pick location, if it's a fixed location, okay, can it be replenished? Also very popular is this sequence. You have this pick list. It is so long and you don't want to run around in the warehouse like crazy. So you can set up your bin location in sequence. So I know I go here first, then I go here, then I go here, then I go here, and I don't run around like crazy. Okay. You can also put in there, after so many days or transactions, I need this bin location needs to be counted. If you have a bin location that has a lot of turnover, they do that. Okay, so you have full control here. You have docks. So you have receiving docks, you have shipping docks. Everything is here. And the system will not let you do something what's not set up. If this is a loading dock, I could never unload there. Of course not. So you decide what you want. And then, of course, over here, this is your company setup. Then you have all those parameters you set up. Hey, can somebody overpick, and so on. So full blown, this is your setup, and this is what you work with. What's very, very nice is this, the inventory report. I always tell customers this is going to be your Bible. No matter what you do, this is something you will always pull up. You know exactly where your items are. And let me do something quick. I think I created a purchase order here. And let me just pull up those two items. If they don't give me trouble, MS100. So I have a purchase order here, and I'm going to say MS, what is it, underscore? There we go. So, and then I do MS, oh, actually 100 is, oh, that's fine. 1001, I think. Okay. So an inventory report, look at all your options. You can filter what you want to see, and you see right here, these are my items, and I know I see my SSCCs, of course, SSCCs, license plate, totally supported. Okay, you have pallets, you can call it SSCCs, shipping serial container codes or license plate, totally supported. Okay, batch numbers, everything, of course. So here I see the SSCCs. You can do a lookup on the SSCC and it tells you all the items there on that pallet. Okay, so best before dates and so on, and where are they located? Okay, so you see where they're located. Okay, there's a lot in the receiving dock. I see right here. Okay, a lot in the receiving dock 1. So let's do something. I'm going to keep this open. And what we are going to do now, we have a purchase order out there with those 2 items we saw. I'm going to go here and look at that scanner. Now, this window looks totally different than what we saw earlier. It's because I have way more options. I have a reception. I have a put away. I have a purchase return, cross docking. I have bulk reception. I have advanced shipping notice reception, and so on. This is your full-blown warehouse management system. On the sales side, I have picking, multi-picking, zone picking, ad hoc picking. So all this is available for you. I have cards. How cool is that? You know, some people, or maybe you are one of them, you have smaller items and somebody goes with the carts and goes and picks stuff. So all this is available for you. And again, of course, if there is stuff you don't need, you hide it. Okay. So, I mean, look, the sales part just never ends. I have like 15 different options I can do. But let's purchase something. I'm going to say I'm going to receive this in. I'm going to receive it in on dock 2. And now you say, do I have a barcode? I can just scan a GS1 barcode. Do I have an order or no PO? Is it a container? So all this is available. I'm going to say it's an order and it should be the last one. And I'm going to say next. Now it's going to ask me, do you have identical logistic units? That saves you a lot of time because I have 10 pallets. They're exactly the same. You say, yes, what's in there? This and this and this is in there, and bring them all 10 in. I said, no. Do you have a logistic carrier? Very important for large companies that they deal with pallets because, you know, you get charged sometimes. So now select the product. I'm going to scan that. And now this has a best before date. It's a helmet. Okay. So it's calculating the best before date. I can change it, of course. Now it's going to tell me you have actually an item that has a later best before date. Do you want to enter another one? Maybe I made a mistake. I said no, just to be a little bit faster. When was the manufacturing date? You can put that in there too. And how many you're receiving in? Of course, you can do partial. I don't think I have to. Okay. And now it creates my document. That's another thing. Of course, we all like automations, and it's going to create documents, and it gives me all that information on it. Okay. Okay. Are there other products on this logistic unit? So it's asking me because what happens a lot, you get something in it, now you're breaking it up. I'm going to say yes. What this does, it's giving me the same license plates for both items. Okay, let's do say yes. This product is also on this logistic unit. Same thing. I haven't. Oh, and this one has an attribute. Hey, which country is it coming from? So isn't it cool? You can, what's important to you? Okay, this is coming from Let's do Argentina since I love Messi. There we go. And there we go. And you just go through it. So what's going to happen now? Now I want to go back to my report. I'm receiving these items in. Okay, we are good. I'm going back to my inventory report because I want you to see something. Look at it. I had it open. Now I'm going to refresh it. I should have, sorry about that, guys. I should have now some of those items in RD1. So I'm going to refresh it. There we go. It refreshed. And now let me sort it. My system is a bit slow. So there we go. Here they are, RD1. And if you look right here, I hope you can see it. I hope it's not too small. This is the same SSCC, the same license plate, because I said they're on the same logistic unit. So I could do a search now in here. Hey, what all is on this logistic unit? And you see it's different items. Now let's do something else really quick. Then I go back to my slides. They are here RD2. Okay, now I'm going to pull up the scanner again. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put it away because the way I have my system set up, I receive it in a dock and then somebody has to go and put it away. I'm going to dock 2. And now it's going to say scan in that SSCC. Select the location that doesn't have a default location. Select an empty one. Select, let me put it to, I want to say maybe 5. It's probably not going to let me. See, it's locked. It's funny that it tells you where you can put stuff in. Now, let me try another one. So it's FP0005. I don't have it yet. Let's see if it lets me put it in this location. So it will tell a user, no, you cannot put it there. Logistic unit items are moved. So let's refresh this here again. Look on the bottom. It's probably gonna resort it again. There we go. And here they are, those 2 moved here. I still have the same SSCC because I said move the whole logistic unit. You can also, so it doesn't move the whole logistic unit, that you can break it up again. Okay, so this is the beauty on this. You can always, also you as a manager, you can make lock items, you can change best before dates on items, quality status, blah, 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 print labels from here, create move orders for the warehouse to move items, okay? So that's the difference between WMS and scan. We have full blown, you have so many options on the WMS side if you need it, and the scan follows SAP. And the same thing is on the sales side, guys. If you have a sales order, let me go here really quick. There's a sales order. You will go to a scan. The one thing you need in WMS, you have to have a pick list. You can create a pick list proposal and then you can create a pick list. So there's 2 steps to it, which is nice. I'm creating proposals. Maybe you're the one who creates the pick list. And as soon the pick list is done, it's going to show up on the scanner for your employees, for the operators out there. And then you go sales, you do picking, zone picking, whatever, ad hoc picking, of course. Okay, there is my pick list, so it should match that number. There's my pick list, and I'm gonna go. I'm taking this pick list. Up here, you see a wave. I created a wave. There is 3 pick lists in one. So I'm gonna start picking, and it tells you where to go. Go walk to B003 because it looks at the date. No movable location. I have no logistic carrier. Let's do it really quick. So I'm at B.0003. That's why you have the little feet there. And I'm going to pick select the product. Of course, you would scan all this. Everything you see up there, of course, you will scan. I'm going to choose it. I should have just typed it then looking for it, right? There it is. I'm going to pick this. So how many you're going to do? Which batch? I'm going to do this one. This one is released. And I'm going to pick 5. And then you just keep going. Then it's going to, sorry, it's a little bit slow. I think it's because whatever, I lost internet yesterday really quick. The items have been picked, and then the location needs to be counted. Oh, I'm glad I picked this. Remember, on the bin location, you can say, hey, it needs to be counted after so many days or this many transactions, and it's going to say, yes, it needs to be counted. Okay, what do you want to count? Everything, just the license plate, the SSCCs, count items on location. Are you sure you want to skip it? Yeah, I'll let him skip it. Are you sure you want to skip? I say yes. Okay. And why are you skipping? Okay. Then you can have reason codes. You always can have reason codes. And now it's asking me, now they need additional information. It needs to be certain characters. That's why I'm typing. There we go. Now I can go ahead and pick the next one. Okay. And it depends what you have set up. So I just went to a bin location. I need to do a count. I need to do this. If you skip the count, they have to put a reason in there. Let me refresh this pick location. So picked, open. And you should see that this one has been picked. Full visibility and so on. Okay, so and the same on the sell side. When you go to a pick location, let me just go in. Actually, let me finish it. Why not? Why not? Let me do this one. It wants me to go to B0004. You would scan that, of course, because you're walking there. Then select the product. I'm going to go down. You would, of course, again, you would scan the product. I'm going to use this, batch this. And you will see the count is not going to come up because this was a different location. And I do not have it configured that this needs to be counted certain, I hope not, for certain location. So the items have been picked. Now it's sitting on the grass stock. So I got out. Now these items, if I go in there, they're sitting on the grass stock, and what you would do, and it depends on you. It's really totally depends on you how you configure it. If you don't do that, then you don't do that. But what you would do next, let me move it. Why doesn't let me move? Come on, don't be so stubborn. So then the next thing you would do, you would go in here, and then you would say shipping. Hey, I forgot, was it crosstalk 1 or 2? Go here. I'm going to check a pick list. I think it was 2. Pick list. Oh, I forgot it was crosstalk. It was, oh, probably this one. Sorry about that. It's probably this one. Okay, and then what you do is load that SSCC and then you ship it out. And then it leaves the warehouse. Right now in the inventory, of course, I still have it. It's sitting still in the warehouse on a cross stock, and now I'm shipping it out. So that's my full-blown warehouse management system. And of course, it does so much more. I could go on and on, but you can schedule a one-to-one demonstration to go through all this. Then you have move, ad hoc moves, move orders, and all this stuff. And then, of course, you have the inventory cycle count here. Also, you would do it on site. And of course, you have some part of the production where you can actually pick here for production. Okay, and move to production line if you have, like a process manufacturing. So that would be perfect if you're in the food industry. A lot of times you have process manufacturing. So that's the difference between those two. So let me recap this. So scan versus WMS. It's really, we know we would ask you questions, and there's certain, you have expiration days, you have shelf life, you have SSCCs. Those are the 3 questions I usually ask. Then I know which one to go for. Okay, so full-blown WMS and scanning solution. So here is just a little bit a comparison, which I can share, of course. It's what does WMS has and what does Scan have. So Scan is, of course, limited because we are using SAP's logic. Okay, so if there are certain things you need, like a license plate, then you would go with WMS. If you need shelf life and a best before date, you go WMS. If SAP works for you, but you want to automate stuff, yes, then you go with Produmex. And you still get a lot out of it. So that's totally up to you. So those are just a few screens on what's the difference. I know I'm going way too fast, and maybe some stuff you don't even know what it is, not in me. Okay, but this is the difference. Okay, SAP works. You want more, you want to automate, go with Scan. I need more. this warehouse, I'm growing out of this warehouse features in SAP, then you would look into WMS. Okay, so that was the presentation for today. Thank you so much for joining. And as I said, if you do need a one-to-one presentation, please contact Forgestik. Of course, we can set up a one-to-one presentation with you and we get more information from you. Thank you so much.